Hello and welcome to a video with me, Unnamed, with a video of weekly entry, in which I'm just going to get straight into talking about anime this week, because I had 14 anime that I was watching for the season that ended this week. So, starting off with Blue Box, which I guess technically ended last week, but because of fucking Netflix, yeah. It was honestly a good romance anime with a bit of sports going on in it as well, I guess. But honestly, there really wasn't all that much progress when it comes to Taiki and Chinatsu, to be honest. Which I think is mostly just the fact that out of all 25 episodes out of that, the second half of the anime was basically purely focused on Hina, Taiki's childhood friend, who was of course going to end up losing. So yeah, second half of the anime basically exists purely to build up Hina, only to destroy absolutely all of that, everything that was built up there in the second to last episode of the anime. Yeah. And because of how much she ended up getting built up there, it honestly it did actually kind of hurt seeing that, despite the fact that I knew it was coming from the very fucking beginning. And then of course, final episode, Taiki kind of finally starts moving forward when it comes to Chinatsu, I guess, ending the season basically with them the beginning of a date, I guess. But yeah, second season has been announced for it, and I honestly really fucking hope that Chinatsu actually gets some fucking character development, cause this season was heavily skewed in the favor of Hina when it comes to character development. It's like, I don't think it would have hurt that much if Chinatsu actually got a good amount of character development this season. But moving on to the next anime, I guess at this point. I'm getting married to the girl I hate in my class, which is honestly just a pretty simple rom-com, where both Saito and Akane were first marry each other and everything. And of course, despite what the name of the anime is, they don't actually hate each other. That it did take Akane the entire season to actually admit that she does love him. And that was purely thanks to Himari, who also likes Saito. But even after that, Akane is still acting like a tsundere. So, yeah. And honestly, I think the best thing in this anime was just that love triangle there between the three of them, which I think is mostly just because the fact that Himari kind of just won't give up without a fight, despite the fact that she is best friends with Akane. But yeah, I guess the comedy side of things, the only thing I really got to say for that is just the fact that it's the kind of comedy with a lot of yelling, which honestly, not my kind of a comedy, to be honest. It's like, sometimes it's good, but most of the time, no. But yeah, that's all I got for that anime. So moving on to the next one, I'm living with an Otaku, NEET Kunoichi, in which is another rom-com anime, but this one is more focused on comedy. And it also has 24 12-minute episodes, but we end up getting 2 episodes every single week, so they are basically all combined into 12 24-minute episodes. And the result of that, I'm kind of wondering if over in Japan, where it's airing on TV, if they're actually just getting 1 episode a week. Because if that is the case, they still have another 3 months until the anime ends. So if that is the case there, this is a very weird situation where we are actually ahead of Japan when it comes to the airing of an anime, which is just weird overall. Just completely weird. But, yeah. Overall, this anime itself here, it was good, I guess. Wasn't anything special about it, to be honest, at all. Though it did manage to catch me off guard with the trap in it. The masochist pervert of a tramp that is Ayame. Yeah. That's the only thing that's really kind of caught me off guard, to be honest, was just that. But yeah, generally, just overall good. decent characters, all that. So, moving on to the next thing, which is Okitsura, which is another rom-com, in which doesn't really focus on the romance or comedy, to be honest, but instead on Okinawa itself. Considering this, honestly, this anime is just about Okinawa more than anything else. It's like we got like a total of 65 bits of trivia about Okinawa throughout all 12 episodes of this anime. And honestly, out of all the stuff that happens there, my main takeaway from this is the fact that Okinawa has A&Ws, and that is honestly mostly just because of the fact that it is so rare that I see an American company in an anime that isn't some massive brand. So, yeah. Back when it comes to the romance side of things, I guess, for this anime, it's kind of weird, to be honest, considering you got Kana, who is basically the main love interest. Meanwhile, Teru actually likes Hina instead, Kan-san, who's basically shown absolutely no interest in him the entire anime, though in the final episode there was something, I guess, but that was basically entirely result of a misunderstanding. But yeah, I think Teru might also be slowly becoming more aware of Kana as well, possibly. So, honestly no idea what direction the romance side of the anime is actually going to go in, to be honest, with how weird all that is. But one thing that I honestly really wonder about the anime is just the new character that was introduced, shown in the second to last episode of the anime, that was literally not shown at all or anything in the final episode of the anime. So, literally brings in a new character, showing them, having a focus on him clearly towards the end of the episode or something, or middle of it. And then there's absolutely nothing for it. Who the fuck was that? Seriously, who was that? Gonna have to get a second season, I guess, if we want to know that. Or read the manga or whatever. But yeah, moving on to the next thing, which is Zenshu, in which is a surprisingly good anime, to be honest. Which I think the worst thing about it is just how predictable it is. Cause, like, the first half of the anime, it was honestly pretty predictable, but I honestly think that it's mostly just a result of what the worlds this anime is based on, considering the whole thing is based on a bad movie, The Tale of Perishing, in which, yeah, the first half of the anime pretty much followed the script of that movie, for the most part, with the only changes being the fact that Natsuko is actually saving everyone. But of course, as things go on, it goes further and further off track of what it's supposed to be, and of course, as a result of that, it tries harder to railroad it back onto the right track for the ending where the world ends and everything. And I guess one other thing that was kind of bad about it, though, was just Natsuko's character itself, to be honest, because honestly, she was not that good of a character, but she did slowly become better throughout the anime, especially towards the end of it there, and yeah. Another thing I guess to mention is just the fact that this was made by MAPPA, which from my understanding has a bit of a reputation, to say the least. And they made this anime, which is about a animator who died at work from food poisoning. Yeah, at the very least, she didn't die from overwork, I guess. But also, I guess she didn't actually die and was possibly in a coma. Maybe, I'm honestly not fucking sure. The whole ending with the anime is kind of just weird, but yeah, I'll get to that in a moment, I guess. But yeah, this anime overall is basically just a story about Natsuko's first love, I guess, which of course is Luke. But honestly, that doesn't really come into the story at all until last few episodes, basically, after the point where Luke ends up falling for her. But yeah, On to the ending of the anime, which is honestly just fucking weird to be honest, considering it's just kind of confusing, because, of course, happy ending and everything, Natsuko ends up saving the entire world and all of that, but she ends up going back to her own world or something there, and one of the first things I noticed there is the fact that she still has Yunio's horn and is using it as a hairpin still. It's like, how the fuck do you still have that? And then there's also the other thing that was kind of clearly shown there at the end, which was just Luke and the others being in the real world as well, which Natsuko also apparently noticed, but yeah. Honestly, I'm really not sure. Is all that real? Or is it all just a part of Natsuko's imagination or something? Honestly, really don't fucking know. But yeah, that's all I guess I have to say for Zenshu there, so moving on to the next thing, which is I Have a Crush at Work, which honestly was a very good office romance in which the main characters are actually adults and actually act like it. And they also definitely have an adult relationship, considering there is at least one softcore porn scene in the damn thing that ended up catching me off guard. But, yeah, honestly, not a lot to say for this anime. It's just a good romance. That's it, to be honest. So, yeah. Personally, I kind of feel like there's a bit of fresh air at the very least when it comes to romance or office romance or something. So, yeah. Next thing, Medaka Kuroiwa is Impervious to My Charms, which is again another romance anime, in which honestly I don't think this one was actually that good, to be honest, which I think is mostly just due to Mona kind of being a bitch, to be honest, with her whole queen bee attitude and all that, which is the reason why she's trying to get Medaka to actually fall for her, because he's not fawning over her like everyone else is. And of course, she ends up falling for him instead, because of course she does. And she only managed to actually realize that she actually fell in love with him with the help of her best friend, and that was right at the end of the fucking anime, basically. But yeah, the whole reason why Medaka isn't actually even fawning over Mona in the first place is just the fact that he's apparently training to be a monk or something. So, yeah, if it wasn't for that, he'd basically be just like every other fucking character in the anime, I guess, fawning over Mona. But, yeah. The anime also has a bit of a love triangle going on when it comes to Asahi there, being in love with Medaka as well, which honestly I think is probably one of the better things in the anime, was just her and Mona competing over Medaka, I guess. But, yeah, I guess we will get to see more of all that stuff in the second season that this has already gotten announced already. So, yeah, next anime, Tying a Knot with an Amagami Sister, and which is kind of a classic harem romance anime, but Uryu isn't actually as annoying as the average harem protagonist, thankfully. He actually kind of has a bit of a spine and takes responsibility for things. And also another plus for the anime, in my opinion, is just the fact that it clearly tells you that it's going to have a harem ending pretty early on, to be honest, with the amount of peaks into the future we get to see, where he clearly marries all three of them. But yeah, you got supernatural stuff with those dreams that Uryu has, seeing things in the future and all that, along with a bunch of other stuff, which includes body switching when it comes to Yuna. Yeah. But all that stuff is clearly a result of the goddess at that shrine, which I think is pretty clear is actually their mother there. She ended up somehow becoming the goddess of the shrine or something. Yeah, don't really understand that very much there, but yeah. There's also Yomiko, who is seemingly aware of absolutely everything that is happening for some reason, But I'm just going to be putting that down to the fact that she is the head shrine maiden of a large shrine, and also the fact that she does have a strong connection to this shrine. So I'm just going to put that weirdness to that, I guess, for now. But yeah, overall with this anime, I would say it's just very good. Honestly, really hoping it for a second season when it comes to this one at some point. Considering I honestly did really enjoy it, and also kind of just want to see another harem romance anime that actually is going to have a harem ending fully adapted. Honestly, would really like to actually see that for once, considering that seems incredibly rare for that to happen, for whatever reason. But yeah, moving on to the next thing, which is Unnamed Memory Season 2, in which, yeah, still wasn't very good. But I do think it was better than the first season. And I'm honestly not that sure how much stuff in this season got cut out and skipped, but at the very least, it wasn't as obvious that was happening as it was in the first season. Because I have no doubt that stuff was still getting cut and just completely skipped in this season as well. Have no doubt at all about that. But at the very least with this anime, I guess it did kind of have a good ending, I guess. Especially after how the first season ending with whole everything basically just getting reset. That kind of just made it like, why the fuck did I even watch this? But yeah, this season basically had another reset, but it's actual hard reset where all the changes to history have been undone, in which apparently just means that the Vault's family no longer exists and everything else is basically the same still. Somehow. Yeah. Moving on to the next anime, I guess. Flower and Asura, which is Studio Bind's second non-Mushoku Tensei anime. In which, yeah, I guess this would be best described as a drama anime, I guess. Especially with the whole thing that was going on in the last 2 episodes. But yeah, this season here basically got to the qualifications for the NHK competition, I guess. And the ending of it was kind of set up for to possibly get another season in the future at some point, I guess. But honestly, overall, it was good. I don't really have anything else to say for it, because it's honestly just not the kind of an anime that I really enjoy very much, to be honest, so yeah. Next thing, Re:Zero Season 3, in which, honestly, a lot happened in this season. As a result of them fighting four of the archbishops of the witches cult and everything, which I think ended with Regulus dying, I'm assuming that at the very least, and also Sirius getting captured, who honestly didn't really kind of realize until some people started poking it out, but she's probably also connected to Emilia's past there. Hair color, eyes, a lot of the details there, yeah. But of course the other two end up clearly just getting away. And I guess to just quickly go through and try and sum up everything that actually happened this season. Krush is out of action. Garfield found his mom and with her new family and everything. William got closure on his wife. And I guess we might not be able to fully trust Anastasia, but then again, I guess we probably never really should have in the first place, to be honest. And then there is also the fact that Al is an older Subaru or something, I guess, who has been in that world for 10 years. That's from the shorts, which is very weird. Now it's regulated to the shorts of the anime for some reason, but sure, I guess. And then there is also the fact that Julius has become another victim of gluttony, like Karim. Though he is for some reason still alive and conscious, unlike Karim. And yeah, I think that's basically all the main things that happened this season. In which, of course, this has already gotten a 4th season announced, I guess. So yeah, looking forward to that whenever that comes out. So yeah, moving on to the next anime here, which is Honey Lemon Soda, which is another romance anime, which I also kind of thought was pretty good. And basically, quickly try and sum it up. Ishimori, an introverted, shy, sheltered girl, I guess, there, falls in love with Kai, and the result of that kind of starts slowly coming out of her shell with his and the rest of the class's help. And yeah, she of course does have bullies and everything, of course, typical stuff and everything, you know. But we don't really actually get to see much of them, considering they're kind of dealt with pretty early on, with everyone in the class kind of backing her up and everything. But honestly, even just like halfway through the anime, Ishimori is already able to stand up to those bullies herself, basically, so yeah. Honestly, good overall, I'd say. Season basically ended there with Ishimori and Kai getting together. So that's already happened within the first season there, so that's nice, I guess. But yeah, moving on to my next anime here, which is from Bureaucrat to Villainess, that's been reincarnated. Which is a good and kind of unique Otome game isekai, I guess. And I'm just going to start off with this here and mention the fact that Kenzaburo isn't actually dead, he is just in a coma, and is somehow now in control of Grace's body. Meanwhile, Grace herself, going by one scene in the anime, is basically mentally in a cage, in which I'm just going to be assuming this in the long run for the anime, when it comes to the story and everything, that it's basically going to end with Grace getting out of that cage, and basically being able to actually be herself and no longer have to act like the way she was, making herself a villainess and everything, with how strict she was making herself with everything and all that. But yeah, Kenzaburo does try to actually act like a villainess, of course, and of course fails so badly at that he ends up raising everyone's affection levels himself, which took a while for him to realize that he was actually doing that. Meanwhile, you got his daughter Hinako just kind of there watching all this play out in the game, just watching everyone in the student council fall for her dad. Yeah. And then you also got some other mysteries, I guess, that are kind of introduced towards the end of the anime, like Grace's and Anna's mothers, just who the fuck they are, cause they are honestly quite suspicious, to be honest. But, yeah. Last anime now, Momentary Lily, which is an anime that honestly feels like it's a bunch of random crap just tossed together, just to try and make something work or something. Cause, it's like one example of this, that is the fact that this is an action anime in an apocalyptic world, but also kind of a gourmet anime with cooking in every single episode. It's like, how the fuck are you going to really put those two things together seamlessly? Because, yeah, it honestly wasn't that good. It's nice, I guess, overall when it comes to the anime there, but yeah. I guess other stuff with this is like, after the first few episodes, I was kind of assuming that was going to be a bit of a tragic anime as well, where everyone's going to eventually die because one of the characters died. But that didn't actually happen, considering we only had one other character die, and that was at the end of the anime. So, yeah. And then there was also the fact that apparently all the main characters in this, basically all of them, are clones that were created by aliens or something to help wipe out all the life on Earth, but apparently something happened to those aliens, and so those plans were started but never actually finished. So yeah, honestly, just to sum up the anime, it is just weird, which goes perfectly for Gohans, I guess, with all their weird camera angles and art style and all that, so works perfectly, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, that there is all of that anime finally done. goddamn, that's quite a bit of anime. And almost all of those were fucking romance as well, for fuck's sakes. Thankfully don't have as much anime ending over the next week. But yeah, when it comes to anime for next season, I haven't actually taken a look at those yet. But I'm deciding what I'm going to actually be watching for next season. But I think I'm going to be getting around to doing that over this weekend when I actually have time, considering, yeah, I've kind of been a bit busy the last few days because of World of Tanks and that Girls and Panzer collab that they kind of have going on there. I'm just trying to get the daily damage mission complete, and that's it. That's all I care about, is just doing the daily damage every single day for the events there so I can get all the fucking tokens. But yeah, that's taking quite some time to get done each day. And of course, I'm not doing that well in World of Tanks still. Meanwhile, over in World of Warships, I have basically gone back to playing carriers a bit after over a month, I think, and that's purely because some of the campaign missions for the Science of Victory or whatever that campaign is, I basically got that campaign completely finished at this point, and there's just only a few of those tasks left, and most of what was left there were ones for carriers, so had to go back, do the carrier ones, get that stuff done. And I am honestly I seem to be doing better in the carriers than what I was a month ago when I last played them, from what I can tell, considering, yeah, I'm actually managing to do damage now. So I guess over the last month, I've just gotten better at aiming or something, and that's translated quite well when it comes to actually aiming at ships with planes or something. So, yeah. So I guess at this point, I'm basically like the average carrier player when it comes to skill or something, possibly. But yeah, that's all of that done. One thing that I would have mentioned last week, but didn't actually get to because I recorded the video early, was just the fact that I ended up getting my first YouTube member after over 6 months or something since I got those memberships unlocked. But yeah, I guess thanks for becoming a member there, I guess. Still don't really have plans to really expand that yet when it comes to membership stuff. I'm actually adding perks to it, but I'll do that stuff at some point, I guess. Probably once I can actually get myself to start streaming regularly. I'll see about doing more stuff when it comes to memberships or something like that. But yeah, that there is going to be it for this episode here, so yeah. I hope you've all enjoyed this video here. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.